the sort of feelings like Lisa was saying, some people might be starting out on something, some people might be ending, even though we're not talking about that, right? Yeah, we're not going there. And I suppose if I was to sum up the kind of this journey, if we're talking about it, and it took me a very long time to learn this, but I think as Gold Star students that we all tend to be in this room, something, by the way, I'm not saying I'm sort of any paragon of wisdom here, it's just my own personal take. Your work is not your worth. It took me a very long time to learn that. And there's a few instances today, I know during Evie's talk there was a moment where she mentioned the frustrations of the PhD, and there was a kind of an awkward but relatable sort of, yeah, we're all going through it. Don't talk to me about the PhD, right? And I'm sure with MA students as well, it's the same thing. You think, I've never written a piece of work this big before. What does that mean? Am I capable of doing that? And that's most of the conversation I have with students is, you're here, you can do that. But it takes an awful lot out of oneself, as I think everyone in the room will probably realise. And so while it's great to see all the great things that people have gone on to do and will go on to do, it's also perfectly fine to just say, you know what, I don't feel like that trajectory is for me right now. I feel a bit overwhelmed with it all. And, you know, the imposter syndrome thing is real. It's absolutely real. I'm standing here quivering thinking, why are they listening to me? What do I know? And one of the reasons I sort of felt very strongly about that idea that your work is not your worth is that I went straight through. I went straight from secondary school. Actually, I've never stopped since I was 4. I went straight from primary to secondary, to BA, to MPhil, and to PhD. And as many of us, I'm sure here, can probably relate, had my struggles doing that. Yeah, it's an isolating, solitary, it can be an isolating, solitary thing. It's why it's lovely to come along to days like this where it's all about that community, yeah? And when I finished, again, not referencing anyone in the room, when I got close to finishing, and I was it sort of felt like I was approaching this sort of cliff. And I thought, I don't know what happens next. Even if Lisa had sort of popped into my past and shown me all these wonderful people, I still would have been like, it's not me, I don't see it. So because I love youth work, I tried to get some jobs in youth work, but I had no formal qualifications in that, just the love of young people. So nobody would give me a job. And it took me a very long time to come back to, or to fall back in love with the work. Because again, I know Anushka started her talk earlier on saying, I'm done with the PhD, I'm not talking about it today, we're talking about something completely different. It's okay if you get to that point. I remember calling my supervisor at the end and saying, I literally have the thesis printed in my hand and I'm going to take a scissors to it. I am done with this. I'm so done with this. I had to fall out of love with it to then fall back in love with it. And I know anytime we approach these kinds of transitional points, be they at the end of a degree or at the start of something new, there is that sense of, I don't know, what if it doesn't work out? It's nice to just stay at uni. That's why we're all still here. It's a nice, safe environment where we can all just, we all get our gold stars and we all go for it. But, really, if there's anything I could just sort of say, it's just that your work is not your worth. And, yeah, it took a long time to learn that. And I know everyone has to learn that for themselves. So I'm not imagining that I'll just go, hooray, you've understood me now. You can feel this in your heart of hearts. But really know that your work isn't your worth. Even if your work is good, even if your work is bad, there are times when it will be all of those things. I know Lucas has heard me talk about this. For those coming into or thinking about coming into PhD study or indeed going on to doing their MA dissertation, I always talk about, Jane, you can block your ears, the valley of shit that comes with writing a large, extensive piece of work. I call it the valley of shit. And you start up at the top of the valley and you think, oh, look at the view, it's amazing. I have all this research in front of me, my PhD, my MA thesis, this is going to be amazing. And you sort of start trudging down into the valley, thinking this is a lovely journey. And somehow you find yourself in this murky, hazy miasma of shit and rewrites and supervisor feedback. And you think, how did I get here? Why have I done this to myself? And you realise that the kind of edge is sort of slightly slippery and you're trying to get back up. I promise you, if this isn't too cheesy a metaphor, I promise you, the vistas are beautiful. The other side of the valley. I love my metaphors. How many students have heard me say, it's like a sandwich. Absolutely, it's like a sandwich. Or like a pie. But yes, you may feel at the moment like it's all smooth sailing, the views are really good. You may feel like you're caught in that hazy miasma of shit. And it's okay if you are. And it's days like this that I think allow us to James looking at the floor as if to be like, note on his record, cursing at students, discipline proceedings. It's been nice knowing you. I'm going to leave now, probably in handcuffs. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you so much.